First at noon this Monday, continuing to track breaking news. A deadly fire last night at an assisted living home in Fall River. Good afternoon, I'm Kate Walsh. It was first reported shortly before 10 o'clock last night. You can see the home on Oliver Street, just off South Main Street and very close to St. Anne's Hospital and Kennedy Park in Fall River's south end. The neighborhood has been active for all of that time since. We have several crews reporting in the neighborhood today near the assisted living center on Oliver Street. The Tomeo Center has also opened as a shelter to assist residents on Bay Street. Let's start with Sheena Loshuta with the big picture here. Sheena.
Okay, right now we're live on Oliver Street. You can still smell the smoke in the air here. Now, what fire crews saw when they first got here was a stark image that really paints a picture of just how critical this scene was. Fire was just moving from that front entrance, and people were hanging out of the windows, just begging for help, looking to be saved here. The Fall River Fire Chief says this all unfolded starting a little bit after 9:30 last night, a fire at the Gabriel House of Fall River, and this is an assisted living facility, which means much of the people who live here need help getting around. So it's already a vulnerable population. Many needed help getting out of the building, which we're told was very quickly consumed by smoke. 9 people have been pronounced dead. The fire chief says some perished in the fire, others were transported, then they died. More than 30 people had to be transported altogether. And now the focus is where they're going and where they can stay. But then there's the obvious question: how did this fire start? The fire chief says the investigation will look into that. They are also looking at all the building codes. The governor is also in Fall River today assessing the devastation.
That's what folks need to understand. This was not a situation where teams arrived and people were able to get out easily. All of these people needed assistance. As you saw, many were in wheelchairs, many were immobile, many had oxygen tanks. They were severely compromised individuals in this assisted living facility, which made it all the more challenging. And you can imagine a fire raging. You're dealing with a smoke inhalation, which we know was devastating. 5 of our guys had to be treated at the hospital, but just how precarious this was with oxygen tanks, so many of them on.
Now, as Governor Maura Healey mentioned, 5 responding firefighters were injured, but we are told that they're okay and they've already been released from the hospital. But this was a major response, as you can imagine. Every single working firefighter and police officer was called to this scene last night, and we're told right away they went to go rescue people who were just begging for help from this building here behind me. Now, still a very devastating situation. The fire chief says 9 people died, and first responders are having a very tough time with that. Even firefighters who weren't working were called in to help with this, all desperate to do what they can. So now they're working to make sure those first responders get the resources they need too.
And any time that any life is lost, a single life is lost, is a tragedy in our minds. It's a failure of our job. But we know that there are forces beyond our control, and that things like this unfortunately happen. It still makes it difficult to talk about and to think about and to fathom, really, for anybody.
Now, the impacted building is directly behind me right now. Again, you can smell that smoke right now, and crews are here already boarding up what they can, what's left behind. The investigation continues, and the Fall River Fire Chief says he'll give us updates when they have them. They have been giving us updates every few hours, but there's really nothing that has changed the last time we checked in. I want to check in now with 12 News reporter Sophia Zabo. She's live also in Fall River for us at the shelter where the survivors are.
Hey, Sheena, what the residents went through last night is beyond traumatic, and many of them are still processing it. While the shelter here is still helping them with their immediate needs, the memories of smoke filling their room and the devastation of losing their loved ones is still just top of mind. It's not something you can get over immediately. Now, Mayor Paul Coogan says we do have some people here right now, and the focus is finding them a place to stay. Of course, the Gabriel House is an assisted living facility, so many people who live there either have health or mobility issues, as Sheena mentioned. Now, we have seen the staff here at the shelter bringing out canes and wheelchairs to people who need it. We've also spoken to several of those survivors who tell us the community inside the facility was like a family, and losing some of them is a heartbreak they will carry with them forever.
They brought a ladder up and they broke the window and they carried me down. Thank God. Thank God I didn't perish. But to hear that my friends did. We're a family there. We're all family. I lost my sister. I called her my sister.
Where are you from, Sophia?
Well, joining me here now is Mayor Paul Coogan. Mayor, I know it's been a tough, night, morning, so thank you for joining us here today.
Yeah, it's been very, very tough, but it's also very, very heartwarming to see the effort between public safety people, our fire, our police, our EMS, our EMA, and even the people that staff the Gabriel House on a regular schedule. They're down here now trying to make sure we have homes for all these people.
Yeah, so what's the latest here at the Tomeo shelter? I know you said we had about 35 people here at one point.
Right, we had 35 here last night, I was told. We have some going to the Fall River Nursing Home up on Highland Avenue, I believe 20, sometime around 1. That'll leave us 15, and I believe the team is in the back room right now working on placements for them, calling to see where there's beds available, and it's just a steady list of calling different nursing homes to find a home for these people. It'll be obviously short term, but we want to know where they are.
Yeah. And how are we getting those 20 people to the next shelter?
I believe we're going to be ended up using the Fall River trolley because it's got a great lift for wheelchairs, and as you saw, Sophia, some of these people are not that mobile, and if we have to use our lifts, we'll put them on a lift and we'll do whatever we can to accommodate them.
Great, thank you for joining us on this noontime. We really appreciate your time. All right, have a good one. All right, that was Mayor Paul Coogan. He says about 20 people will be heading to the Fall River Nursing Home where they will have a place to stay. About 15 people still working to find a place for them tonight. Reporting in Fall River, Sophia Zabo, 12 News.
Thanks, Sophia. In all, about 70 people had lived at the 3-story Gabriel House assisted living facility on Oliver Street. We learned at one point this morning from the fire chief that crews were able to salvage the contents of the records room after this fire. Cabinets of patient information had to be moved to help residents. The response of city and surrounding towns' first responders was immense. 12 News law enforcement and public safety analyst Stephen O'Donnell joins us now. And you have experience with this, having really commanded the Station nightclub tragedy fire. So when you're looking at a situation like this, first we're seeing the immediacy of it, right? Everyone's rushing in, there's a fire, they want to save people, but they don't really know what they're going to encounter. So can you talk about that?
Sure, the safety of everybody is paramount. Public safety to the people that live there, residents, get them out safely. They're a different class of people that you're dealing with. What I mean by that, you have disabilities, people in wheelchairs, trying to locate them and get them out safely while you're keeping yourself safe. So it's a difficult situation, and it's the smoke, not the fire, that the first responders are more concerned about.
And so this was 9:30 at night on a Sunday night. You know, maybe the fire station isn't fully staffed as they would be during the work week, the Monday through Friday work week, but everyone mobilized right away. You know what that's like. Can you talk about getting all of these different units, all of these first responders to working together so quickly to make sure everyone stays safe?
Sure, it's all hands on deck. So once that call comes in, it doesn't really matter what day it is because the way it's shifted, police, fire, first responders, they're trained to respond to that. And then the workers inside. We mentioned nurses earlier, the employees trying to help them get out safely, but also get their patients out because their first concern is the safety of the patients. So it's all hands on deck. By all accounts, the police and fire responded and others come in to help out, but making sure they're safe first so they won't become a victim.
Stephen O'Donnell, we're going to be talking a lot more with you later on, and we will have that on 12 News at 4. But right now, thank you for your perspective. And again, we'll share more with what you have to say later on today.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're expecting to continue to learn many things over the coming days as well after this deadly fire at the Gabriel House facility in Fall River. We'll bring you live updates as they happen on the air, online, and streaming on our news apps, both smartphone and smart TV.